What's going on, guys? It is Bernardo, and you just saw a quick unboxing on Lenovo's Legion Go. So what comes inside the box? We have our safety information guide right here. Nice. We have a Lenovo service pamphlet. Cool. We have our controller base, which allows you to insert the right controller. We have a 65-watt Type-C adapter, power adapter. And then last but not least, we have a case. Now, inside the case, we have the Legion Go. So we're actually going to open it up. And here goes the Legion Go. Look how awesome that is. Wow. All right, so let's close the case, put the case to the side, and there goes the Legion Go. Awesome. Now, this handheld device is actually larger than the Nintendo Switch, weighing around 1.9 pounds with the controllers hooked up. Without the controllers, just only the display, it is around 1.4 pounds. Now, the thickness of the display, it is 0.77 inches. Now, let's go over some of the ports and features on the Legion Go. Now, on the display, on the top side, we have our volume controls. We have a Type-C connection. We have a micro SD slot. We have a headphone jack and our power button. Now, on the bottom of the display, we have one Type-C port. Now, let's go over some of the features on the controllers. Now, on the left one, we have our left joystick, a Legion L button, our D-pad, a menu button, and our view button. On the back side, we have our Y1 button, our Y2 button, and our release button. On the top, we have a LB button, left trigger button. Now, the right controller has a Legion R button, ABXY buttons, your right joystick, and a small trackpad. On the back of the right controller, we have our M3 button, Y3 button, a mouse wheel, and our release button. On the side of the right controller, we have our M1 button and our M2 button. At the top of the right controller, we have our RB button and our right trigger button. At the very bottom of the right controller, we have our first-person shooter mode switch and our mouse sensor. Now, the thickness on both controllers, it is around 1.48 inches. All right, so we just went over some of the ports and features on the Legion Go. There is a kickstand behind the display, so I'm actually going to use it. Like I mentioned earlier, each controller has like a release button. So I'm going to show you guys how to remove it. So you press the release button and then you pull the controller towards you. So push down and there you go. And to insert it, you place it back and then you push up until you hear that click. So let's use the kickstand one more time. Awesome. And the power button is actually located at the top. It's fully charged, so I'm not going to hook up the power cable. But for me, because you have two Type-C connections, one here at the top and one in the bottom, doesn't make any sense to actually put it at the bottom. The only time you use the bottom if you're using the handheld device this way. If you're using the kickstand, definitely hook it up to the top. Power button is located right here, so we're going to press it, hold it, and there we go. All right, so rather than navigating the device using the joysticks and the buttons and also the touch screen, I'm going to actually hook up a keyboard and mouse, and I'm going to use a Type-C adapter. So I have my Type-C adapter right here. Boom. Type-C adapter has a bunch of USBs, an SD card, and an Ethernet, which when you use it with the Legion Go, you're actually able to hardwire this device, which is awesome. So let's insert this guy here at the top. Let's get a keyboard and mouse hooked up to it real quick. Awesome. So now I'm able to navigate much quicker with the mouse. This is basically how I reviewed this unit using a keyboard and mouse. And if your Type-C adapter has an additional Type-C, you are able to hook up the power to it to deliver power to the device. Now let's talk about the trackpad. There is a miniature trackpad, and the size of the trackpad is actually 1.6 inches. You are able to use it. I mean, the right controller is kind of your mouse because it has the wheel and all the buttons like your right click and your left click, but it's really weird using it. Now, at the top of the display, you have your speakers. Now, the speaker loudness, the room was around 64.5 decibels. When I raised the device up to 50%, it went up to 89.9 decibels, which was an increase of 25.4. When I maxed out the volume to 100%, it went up to 97.4 decibels, which bumped it up an additional 7.5. So overall, the Legion Go loudness is around 32.9 decibels. Now for the display, it is rocking 8.8 inches IPS display. It is touchscreen. Behind the display, you have your kickstand. At the bottom right here, you have your dual mics. The resolution on the display, it is 2560 by 1600. Now for the brightness, let me see if I could do the brightness for you right now. Let's go in here. Oops, here. For the brightness level, this is the highest that we have in the brightness. This is around 50%. And if we lower it all the way down, this is 0. So let me do that one more time. I actually can't see. 50%, close to 50%, 100%, 50%, and 0, and then all the way to 100%. So that's the brightness. Now, if you want to know the nits on the display, it is 500. Now, the refresh rate on the display, by default, it is 60, but you are able to bump it up to 144 hertz. All right, so let's talk about the performance on the Legion Go. On the keyboard, on the physical keyboard, I'm going to do Control, Shift, and Escape to bring the task manager. It's a fancy way to bring the task manager. We're going to maximize this. We're going to the Performance tab. Let's go to CPU. Let's right click on the CPU, change the graph to Logical Processor. And this machine is running a AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor. 1 socket, 8 cores, 16 logical processors with a clock speed of 3.30 gigahertz. Yeah, this little guy has a lot of power. For memory, it is rocking 12 gigs, right? 12 gigs. For storage, it is rocking a 1 terabyte drive. And for the GPU, it is running a AMD Radeon graphics card, which has around, I think, 3 gigs, 4 gigs, 3 gigs. Yeah, it looks like 3 gigs. Now for heating, the device does get really warm around this area right here. I think I got the temperatures around 90 to maybe 95 degrees. For the fan, it does get a little loud, especially when you're using the Legion settings right here. And I believe if you go inside the performance and you go all the way, I think right here at the bottom, full fan speed is turned off. But if you turn it on, and right now all my settings, my thermal mode is balanced. My OS power mode is balanced. Everything's kind of balanced, but the fan itself gets really loud. I'm going to turn that off. It takes a while for it to kind of calm down. But yeah, that's the fan noise right there. Now for gaming, I did enjoy playing Street Fighter on this particular machine because of the joysticks. It just felt supernatural playing that video game. I did feel some type of hesitation with the joysticks. You know, I had to actually like really press on it to like go back or block. My son did play Fortnite on it. He kind of enjoyed it. He kind of like, wow, this device is able to actually handle Fortnite. he did like the graphics, the colors on this particular 8.8-inch IPS display pops out. It's just beautiful. When he's playing Fortnite with the keyboard and mouse, it just did not feel right. I think because it wasn't a mechanical keyboard, he's actually using this keyboard and this mouse, he just felt it was kind of off. All right, so how about the battery on the Legion Go? The battery life all depends on how you use it. If you're gaming a lot on it, the battery life will last between 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, pushing it 4 hours. And you definitely need to hook up the power if you want to get better performance, because if you're just playing video games without the power plugged up, you're definitely going to see like your frames per second will go down, a lot of lag. So definitely on this device, you have to have it plugged up on the power to play any game. If you're using it just to surf internet, and I was using the keyboard and mouse to do a lot of things on this particular machine, I was actually able to edit using Premiere, do some editing on photos using Photoshop, using DaVinci. I was actually able to use this machine like a computer. It is a PC running Windows 11, so I was able to do Word edits, PowerPoints, Premiere, Photoshop, DaVinci. I was able to do all that stuff on this machine with no problem. Definitely, I can't edit 4K videos on it. I had to actually use proxy files or downgrade it to a 1080p to use that. But you are able to use this machine like a miniature laptop. It has the specifications to handle all those programs and also play games. Now, I'm not a big fan of the touchscreen because a lot of marks, a lot of fingerprint marks and smudges. So it is touchscreen if you want to go there. Again, if you don't have a keyboard and mouse, if you don't want to carry a big keyboard and mouse, you definitely have to use the touchscreen to navigate on this machine. Now for the controller base right here, which this controller base is definitely for the right controller. This right here, if you're playing those FPS first-person shooting games, this will allow you to actually just set it down, take the right controller, and just exert it. It is magnetic, so it's automatically going to attach, and then you're able to just play. Now, I was lucky to insert an external monitor on the Legion Go. I took advantage of my Type-C adapter because it has an HDMI. If you have a monitor which is a native Type-C connection, you're actually able to use that. But I don't have one, so I actually had to use the Type-C adapter HDMI port, and I was able to insert a monitor and display it and work that way, which works well. Now for pricing on the Legion Go, retail starting price is around $749. That is not that bad with the specifications that it comes with. The size, it is pretty bulky. It's larger than the Nintendo Switch. That's what my son stated. Automatically, he was like, damn, this thing is bigger than the Nintendo Switch. But he did like the display and the colors and how it popped out. He really enjoyed that part. Now, for every Legion laptop, they do have thermal modes, and the Legion Go also has thermal mode. So if we do the quick setting button right here, by default, let's go into performance. Now, by default, I have everything on balance, but if you do quiet, the button, like every Legion laptop, changes the color. This one is blue for quiet. Balance is white. Performance changes to red, and you will see like the icon on the display. And then you're able to also customize and change the wattage and everything. That's purple. I typically keep everything in balance mode because I'm not doing anything heavy, but when I'm gaming, I definitely switch it to performance and just go right in it, and also turn on the full fan speed, which is pretty loud. But let's go back into balance. Now, out of the box, I had a lot of problems with the Legion Go. The Windows operating system was not behaving the way it's supposed to behave. I wasn't able to load up Fortnite. I was able to install Doom, and that launched, and I was playing with it. But when I installed Fortnite, I reinstalled it several times. It was not loading at all. So what I did was I completely wiped the OS, rebuilt it again with Windows 11 23H2, pushed out all the Windows updates, installed all the drivers for the Legion Go, and the machine was running brand new. I was able to run all my programs with no problem. Overall experience on the machine, I had fun actually reviewing the Legion Go. When my son came by for Thanksgiving, I actually used it as my primary gaming machine when I was playing Fortnite with him. The only downside about it is like the joystick, it's really hard to get accustomed to because like when I was playing Street Fighter and I needed to go back, I actually had to put force to go back or block. That's the only concern that I have on the joysticks, and it's pretty bulky. I feel like I definitely need to lift a lot of dumbbells and do workouts because holding this guy, your arms will get tired. And that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review on Lenovo's Legion Go, and I catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.